All right, ready for a deep dive into one of cinema's most celebrated trilogies, The Godfather.
Oh, a classic.
Right. I know what you're thinking. Mobsters, iconic lines, cannoli, we've all heard it.
Definitely.
But trust me, today we're going beyond the horse's head and sleeping with the fishes to uncover why this story still captivates audiences decades later. We're talking 9 Academy Awards,
Oh.
consistently tops best of lists, and it just stays with you.
It's true. I think about it all the time.
So why does this story about, a crime family, why does it resonate with so many people, even after all these years?
That's the question, isn't it? And I think it's because The Godfather operates on multiple levels. You watch this gripping crime saga, but it's also about family, ambition, the immigrant experience. It's layered. It's more than just a gangster flick.
So you're saying even if someone isn't into the whole mafia genre, there's still something universally relatable in the Corleone family dynamics?
Absolutely. Think about Vito Corleone.
Okay, the Godfather himself.
Right. He embodies this classic archetype.
Right.
He's the self-made man, the Sicilian immigrant who claws his way to power.
You can see why that resonates, right? People see echoes of their own struggles, the pursuit of the American dream, maybe minus the
less savory aspects.
exactly, the questionable business practices. But that's what's so interesting about Vito. He's not just a ruthless mob boss.
Not at all.
He has this strict moral code,
Yeah.
family above all else, and that complicates things.
Hugely, because it sets up that central conflict that drives the whole trilogy. Upholding tradition, loyalty, honor, versus the reality of the American dream, especially when it's built on, well,
Illegal activities, let's call it what it is.
exactly. And that brings us to Michael,
Oh boy, Michael. Talk about a tragic transformation.
or for the books.
Starts as the golden boy, war hero, wants nothing to do with the family business.
And
Then things get messy.
to say the least. Michael's arc is truly Shakespearean in his tragedy. He's disgusted by the violence, but then he's forced into it. And once he crosses that line, there's no going back.
It's like a slow descent into darkness, right?
Exactly. And Coppola masterfully uses the film, the way it's shot, the music, to show that change in Michael.
Oh, you mean like how he's always in the shadows as he gets more involved with, the criminal underworld?
Exactly. Or think about all those doors closing.
Oh, I love that.
They literally and figuratively cut characters off, showing the choices they make, the relationships that are broken.
And then there's the music. Nino Rota.
Haunting.
Instantly, you hear it, and you're in that world.
It all builds this tapestry of meaning, and that's what we're going to be unpacking today.
The symbolism, the characters, the choices they make.
Because underneath this crime saga, it's about all of us. It's about family, the allure of power, the struggle with morality.
Yeah, it makes you think, what would you do in those situations?
Right, what compromises would we make, even for family? Because The Godfather Part 2, that's where it gets even more complex.
Yeah. Oh, we're just getting started. So much to unpack, right?
Yeah.
Where do we even start?
Right. Well, we were talking about Michael's transformation.
Oh, man, talk about a slow burn. You see him get pulled deeper and deeper into this world.
And Coppola shows us that so brilliantly, don't you think?
Mm-hmm.
The way he uses juxtaposition, contrasting these brutal acts of violence with these everyday family moments.
It's true. It's like you're at a wedding 1 minute and then...
And then a mob at the next. You're constantly on edge.
Totally. Like that baptism scene.
Oh, iconic.
They're watching the sacred ritual and then it cuts to...
The violence unfolding. It's unsettling, intentional, but man, it gets under your skin.
And I think that's the point, right? It highlights this duality, not just in the Corleone family, but maybe in all of us.
Right. This capacity for both good and evil.
Yeah.
And how easily one can bleed into the other. You see it with each of the brothers, too.
Oh, absolutely. Sonny, so impulsive.
Driven by passion. But it's ultimately his downfall.
Right. And then Michael, he's different.
Much more calculated. You
Yeah.
see that shift from reluctance to ruthlessness.
Chilling, really. And then there's Fredo.
Fredo.
He just wanted his father's approval,
You feel for him. But he was in over his head, those insecurities.
And that betrayal, even if it was unintentional.
It shattered those family bonds. You can't come back from that. That scene where Michael confronts him.
Oh, I know. So powerful. The look in Michael's eyes, the disappointment, you can feel it.
The tragedy of it all. And it just reinforces that central theme. Power corrupts.
It's not just a family drama, though, right? I mean, you could argue that it holds a mirror up to larger systems.
Oh, absolutely.
Yep.
Corporate America, politics, it's all there. The backstabbing, the power grabs, the moral compromises.
And Coppola doesn't shy away from it, even in The Godfather Part 3, which, let's be honest, not everyone loves.
It definitely has a different feel.
But it still has those layers, right?
Yeah.
That exploration of corporate corruption, Michael trying to legitimize the family business, it feels relevant even today.
It's timeless in a way. The idea that you can't escape your past, the consequences always catch up.
And speaking of the past, I love how The Godfather Part 2 jumps back and forth in time.
Oh, the parallel storyline's brilliant. Young Vito's rise contrasted with Michael's descent.
It makes you think about the choices we make, the paths we take. Could Vito have turned out differently? Could Michael have avoided his fate?
That's what makes it so tragic. You see the potential, the different roads they could have taken. But in the end...
The pull of power, the weight of legacy. It's almost like a Greek tragedy, wouldn't you say?
Totally. It's a cautionary tale. Ambition, betrayal, the corrupting influence of power. It's all there. And it makes you think, are we all capable of that? What lines would we cross?
Big questions. And that's the power of The Godfather. It stays with you long after the credits roll.
Exactly. You keep coming back to it.
Yeah.
Debating the choices, the characters. It's more than just a movie.
It's an experience. It really makes you appreciate Coppola's vision, you know? He doesn't let you off easy.
Not at all. Every shot is deliberate, every line of dialogue. He's a master storyteller. And he uses everything at his disposal. The music.
Oh, the music.
Right. So evocative. That haunting theme. It's like another character in the story.
It gets under your skin, you hear it, and you instantly think of the Corleone.
Exactly. And the silences, too.
Oh, yeah. Those quiet moments are just as powerful.
Absolutely. They build this incredible tension, like that scene where Michael decides to kill Soloso and McCluskey. The way Coppola holds on Michael's face. Zeno music, just the sound of his own breathing.
You can hear a pin drop in that scene. It's like you're holding your breath with him.
Exactly. You're right there in his head as he makes that fateful decision.
Heavy stuff. And of course, you can't talk about The Godfather without talking about the performances.
Oh my goodness, legendary.
Al Pacino.
As Michael.
Just wow. You see that shift, that hardening. It's like watching a Greek tragedy unfold.
And Brando as Vito.
Iconic.
He just commands the screen. You understand the weight of that character, the power, the burden.
And it's not just them. The entire cast is phenomenal. Even the smaller roles, like Tom Hagen, the consigliere.
Torn between his loyalty to the family and, well, his own moral compass.
Always trying to guide Michael, but Michael's too far gone.
You really feel for Tom in those moments. He sees where things are headed.
It's heartbreaking, but it speaks to the brilliance of the writing. Every character feels real, flawed, complex.
It's why we're still talking about it, right?
Yeah.
The Godfather is more than just a gangster movie.
So much more.
It's a story that gets under your skin and makes you think. About family, ambition, the choices we make.
The things we're willing to do to protect the ones we love.
Exactly. It's a story for all time. And I think that's the mark of a true masterpiece. It stays with you. It sparks these conversations, these reflections on our own lives.
It does make you think, what would I do? Where do I draw the line?
Exactly. And there are no easy answers.
Yeah.
And that's the brilliance of The Godfather.
It's been quite a journey revisiting this trilogy.
It has so much to unpack, even after all these years.
So, as we wrap up, what's the one thing you hope listeners take away from our deep dive into The Godfather?
I think it's this. Don't just watch it for the violence or the drama. Look closer. Pay attention to the nuances, the symbolism, the characters' internal struggles. That's where you'll find the real heart of the story.
Great advice. The Godfather is more than just a crime saga. It's a story about family, ambition, and the consequences of our choices. And on that note,
It's a wrap.
thanks for joining us for this deep dive into The Godfather. We'll see you next time.